Domestic violence is violent or aggressive behavior within the home, typically involving the violent abuse of a spouse or partner. There are many services and agencies working together to put an end to domestic violence.
Violence in a household takes a toll on an entire family, especially scarring the children and even sometimes ending fatally as a result of reuniting with their families after foster care or receiving child preservation services.
U.S. has one of the worst records among industrialized nations, losing an average of 4 to 7 children every day to child abuse and neglect. 1,640 children died in 2012 as a result of abuse or neglect, mostly at the hands of parents. This is where Child Protective Services comes into the picture. CPS is an agency responsible for providing child protection and acknowledging reports of child neglect or abuse.
Many people ask, can CPS talk to children without the parents' permission? The answer is yes, legally at school or any public place. Refusal is noted as non-cooperation because CPS is required to examine children who reside in the home for marks, bruises, or
about 3.5 million referrals to the Michigan CPS and must be examined.
In the years 2008 through 2012, overall rates of victimization declined by 3.3%, which is an estimated 30,000 fewer victims in 2012. Since 2008, however, CPS responses increased from 40.8% to 42.7%.
Next question is, what does the Catholic Church teach on the issue? This section of the Catechism explains how important a relationship between a husband and a wife is and how it benefits the child. This section of the Catechism states that the home is the natural environment for initiating a human being into solidarity and communal responsibilities. Document 1 of the United States Conference of Catholic Bishops says, the Catholic Church teaches that violence against another person in any form fails to treat that person as someone worthy of love. Instead, it treats the person as objects to be used.
This document, which was made at the Conference of Catholic Bishops in November 2002, states that some children in America are treated like objects from their parents or foster parents. The overview of domestic violence addresses this issue and initiates a response to it.
Francis addresses domestic violence in his letter of His Holiness. He says it's the responsibility of the diocesan bishops and major superiors to protect minors. Minors don't always have their rights protected, so Pope Francis puts their safety in the hands of the Church. How can we help? There are many organizations that provide care and help for victims of domestic violence. EVE is an organization in Lansing, Michigan that provides this type of care. Another care facility located in Michigan is the Haven Domestic Abuse Treatment Center. If you or a loved one are experiencing domestic abuse, please feel free to contact one of these organizations for help and care. Here are some real-life issues found in the news recently involving the CPS regarding the care of children. This is one of the many controversial stories that cause people to dislike the CPS for taking away children too quickly. As portrayed in the previous article, there are many arguments against CPS. In some cases, parents believe taking a young child away from their birth parents and siblings can cause harmful effects in their future. These effects can include social and behavioral problems later in the child's life. On the other side of the controversial subject, some think the CPS does not do enough to protect the lives of children being abused by their parents. The National Coalition Against Domestic Violence is an organization founded in 1978 in Washington, D.C. with a goal to end domestic violence among women and children. If you wish to learn more about domestic violence, please check out their website.
Stop domestic violence.
And thank you for watching.
Created using Powtoon.